Welcome to the High Value Woman's Playbook. I'm your host, Amanda Carroll, and each episode is another play for you to run in your life to get the love and the life that you deserve. If this is your first time here, I would love for you to subscribe so you don't miss any of the plays. You can start building your own playbook. Make sure you follow, even leave a review. It takes 30 seconds, and it means more women like you will find the show. That matters to me because this show was built for one specific woman and she needs to be able to find it, okay? So here's what you're going to get today. I'm going to tell you about a woman named Diana. She's 46, client of mine. She built a company from a spare bedroom into a 40-person firm. And she's been single for 9 years. When I asked her what her dating strategy was, she laughed. Not because it was funny, because she realized in real time that she didn't have one. She had a strategy for everything else in life except for love, the one thing that was missing. Now, Diana is not an outlier. Diana is most of the women I talk to in my dating coaching program. By the end of this episode, you're going to know exactly what was missing for her, what's been missing for you at the same time, and the 3-part system that fixes it. This is called the strategy over hope play. Let's run it. Let me paint you a picture. Diana is 46. She built a consulting firm from a spare bedroom into a business with over 40 employees. She's walked into rooms full of executives twice her age and walked out with the deal. When something in her company breaks, I love this, she does not panic. She does not spiral. She does not light a candle and hope it turns around. She diagnoses it, builds a plan, and then fixes it. She's exceptional at hard things. I think you're going to see a lot of you in Diana. She's also been single for 9 years. And when I asked her what her dating strategy was, she laughed. And then she said, I want you to hear this. I guess I just hope that the right person shows up. I keep my profile up. I go on dates. I wait to feel something. This is a woman who would never, not once, not ever, run her business on wishing and hope. And she's been running the most important relationship of her life on nothing else. The most important decision a woman will ever make in her life is the person she decides to spend it with. So we've got to apply a strategy to it. You don't hope a deal closes. You don't hope you get a promotion. You don't hope a bad quarter turns around. So why are you hoping at the one thing that matters most? You apply a strategy to fix it. Now, I know what some of you might be doing right now. You're nodding along about Diana, but you're also quietly building the case for why you're different, right? You're thinking, well, I've tried to be strategic. I've made the list. I know what I want. He's going to come to me. Maybe you do, but let me ask you just one question. When was the last time you were 3 months into something with a man you weren't sure about, and you had a clear, specific process to know whether to keep going or walk away? Not a feeling, not a gut check at 11 p.m., an actual process. If you don't have an answer, that means you don't have a strategy. You have a list, and a list is not going to save you 9 years in your dating life. I don't want you to waste more time. I think there's 2 types of women in this world. There's the woman that knows what she wants and makes bold decisions to go after it. And then there's the woman who doesn't trust herself, lives in fear, and always puts things off. I don't know about you, but I've realized that indecision is always the wrong decision. Action has gotten me where I am right now. Here's what might have happened to you too, and to Diana, and to almost every high-achieving woman I've ever worked with. Somewhere along the way, and nobody really said it out loud, it was just in the air, you were handed a quiet, ridiculous rule about love. The rule is this: love is the one area of life where strategy doesn't belong. I'm just going to leave it up to luck, leave it up to God. You were told that planning love was unromantic, that wanting it too clearly is desperate, that the right person arrives by luck or timing or fate, or one that gets me every single time when you stop looking. No, that's not true. So why is it the most strategic woman in every room she enters walks into her love life and starts operating like someone she would never hire? someone that can't make decisions and leaves things up to luck. No clarity on what she's actually solving for, no process to move things forward, no way to tell in a week whether or not this is going somewhere. So she finds out in like 9 months instead, and she has to start over. And she calls that being open. It's not being open, it's being undirected. And there's a world of difference between these two things. Hope is not a strategy. It's what we do when we've never been given a strategy. Just throw it up in the air and hope it works. You wouldn't run your business that way. Why would you run your love life that way? It's not your fault. Nobody handed you the playbook for this. They handed you the playbook for your career, your money, your health. And for the thing you want most privately, they told you to leave it up to God or leave it up to the universe. Or you got the playbook from your mother or grandmother that says, it's okay, honey, just dim yourself down to find a provider. But you can provide for yourself. That's not what you need. So let me be clear about something. The universe, God, even your pastor is not your dating coach. Okay. That's not their specialty. And can I say the thing that nobody else will say to you? That talking stage you've been in with some guy for 4 months, the one where he's great but busy, where you keep telling your friends it's still early, that's not dating. That's auditioning for a role in someone else's life with no casting decision in sight. Don't get caught there. And the reason you're still in it isn't that he's almost ready. Why would a successful woman wait for a man to be ready? It's that you don't have a system that tells you to walk. So you stay and you wait and you call it being patient because at least it's somebody to go out with on a Saturday night. It's not patience. It's the absence of a process to make you successful. And I'm not telling you this to make you feel bad at all. I get it. I was you. I experienced the same process. I'm telling you because you are far too smart to keep spending months finding out what you could have known in weeks. You would never let a deal sit in limbo for 4 months with no terms, right? You've just never been given the permission to bring that same standard that's made you so successful in business here. So consider this your permission, please. I learned this play for our playbook the hard way. So you don't have to, okay? Use me as your cautionary tale. At 34 years old, I went through a bad divorce. A year later, I became a nationally syndicated radio show host. I figured out I bounced back. I fixed everything. I had 3 little kids. And then dating life, I was completely winging and having fun. I had absolutely no clue what I was doing. I did everything the advice told me to do, right? I stayed open. I lowered my expectations a little bit because I didn't want to seem intimidating because I own my own home and I was highly successful. I waited for it to happen naturally, and I got exactly what that approach produces. A lot of almost relationships, a lot of wasted time on dates that were duds, a lot of month 7 realizations that the man who I was dating was never really going to choose me and want to be a family with me and my kids. And then it hit me with just this, it was like embarrassing clarity. I was running my career on strategy and my love life on a wish. I mean, I had a strategy and a roadmap for every single show, every single minute that I put on the air. And I was like this, he's cute. Maybe I'll give him my precious time. And then my heart to break why things weren't working out. Not because something was wrong with me, but because I had never once pointed my actual skill set at this on dating. So I stopped guessing. I poured in and I did all the research about what it means to have a healthy relationship, how to date, went to therapy, studied courses, got certifications. And then out of all of that, I built a framework. I got very specific, not vague, specific about exactly who I wanted and exactly who I was. And I treated my dating profile and all of my conversations and all of my vetting like the high stakes process it actually is. Because remember, this is the most important decision you will ever make in your life. Let's not make it on hope and guessing. Through this process and the strategy, I met my husband, Shin. So I tested out my own process, a 7-step strategy I called Love Unlocked. In 3 months, I met my husband, Sean, on Hinge, deliberately, not by luck. Then I started teaching it to my other single mom friends. They met partners very quickly because it wasn't by fate, it was by strategy. Now we have a blended family. We have 5 kids together. 3 are in college, 2 are in high school. And I can't imagine having anything healthier in my life. Then I did what you do with anything that works. I ran it again. Now, 256 women later of Love Unlocked, the result is almost always the same. It was never a standards problem. It was never an age problem. It was never a size problem or where they lived or the apps. It was never a I'm too successful problem. It was just a strategy gap. And a strategy gap is the most fixable thing in the world for a woman who closes gaps for a living and solves problems. Don't lower your standards, just change your strategy. That is the whole difference to get what you want and use the dating apps to work for you. So here's what strategy actually means, because I know be strategic about love can sound kind of cold. I promise it's the opposite of cold. Strategy doesn't mean becoming very calculating and playing a lot of games. It's just the opposite of guessing. And inside the strategy over hope play, it comes down to 3 things. I call it the CPV framework. Okay. Clarity, process, and vetting. Write those 3 down if you can right now. First, we're going to go to clarity. Be specific, not vague. Not a good man. I want you to write down the actual qualities, the deal breakers, the non-negotiables named out loud, the same way you'd write a brief for a critical hire at work. Okay? If you walked into a board meeting and said, I'm looking for someone good, you'd be walked out of the room. Your love life deserves the same precision. Next, process. A profile that does the filtering for you before a single conversation starts. Please don't just guess at your photos and put up whatever you liked from last year that's on your camera roll. Okay. You need to look magnetic and you need to repel low value men. And you need conversations that go somewhere, a clear path from first contact to commitment. So you're not waking up in month 8 wondering how you got in a situationship again as an intelligent grown ass woman. The next step in CPV is vetting, a system that tells you in weeks, not months, whether a man is emotionally available and commitment ready. So you stop pouring months into people who were never going to choose you. Okay. Clarity, process, vetting. That's the CPV framework. And it's exactly what my new program, 5 Dates to Forever, is built on. It's what every woman I've worked with was missing. Blaming the apps, blaming men, blaming our city. But it was really just a strategy gap. You don't need more healing. You don't need to completely change your personality and be less intimidating. Not smaller standards, a framework, the same kind that you already use everywhere else in your life. Here's how you run the strategy over hope play. This week, 3 steps, do all 3. This is my favorite part of the podcast where we break this down. It's not just an idea. I teach you how to implement it today. We're going to run the play. Okay. Step 1, name the areas where you've just been hoping. Finish the sentence honestly, out loud or on paper. In my love life, I've just been waiting for. Write it down. And please don't tell me, Mr. Wonderful, to knock on your door carrying roses, right? You can't build a strategy on top of a hope you haven't named. Naming it is how you stop running on it, okay? Step 2, ask what I call the boardroom question. Take whatever you just wrote and ask, if this were a goal at work, what would I actually do to achieve it? I think you already know the answer. You've always known the answer. You've just never been allowed to apply it here. So apply it. How you solve problems so successfully at work, it's time to get rid of hope and luck and apply that to your dating life. Step 3, get the framework. Okay. This is where I can come in and help you. Here's the thing about step 3. Getting the framework. I can't fully hand it over to you in a podcast episode, right? Not because I'm holding back, because the CPV framework requires me to be in the room with you, to look at your actual profile, your actual situations, your actual patterns. And for 3 days, starting June 23rd, I will be doing just that. It's called the Win It Dating Challenge. 3 days live with me. Day 1, we fix the diagnosis. We name exactly what has not been working for you and why. Day 2, I show you the exact strategy, clarity, process, vetting, applied to your real life. We learn how to be the most magnetic woman this man has ever met on a dating app or in real life. Day 3, we rebuild your dating profile together with me in the room, applying all of these strategies. So your dating profile is so amazing, it filters the low value men for you because they see it and think, I don't have a chance with her. Good. They're not going to waste your time. Stop dimming your light. And instead, it magnetically tracks the man that goes, thank God I've been looking for her. This is who my mother would want to meet. That's the whole framework. And it's all in one place. And I can walk you through it directly together. So by the time this podcast is published, it's just a week away. Registration closes the night of June 22nd, and you can save your seat. Get this, it's only $47. It's so affordable. The link is in the show notes. So if you're ready to stop just hoping you'll find a great partner and apply a strategy, this is the very next step to take. That is part of the play. Again, the link is in the show notes. Read all about it, and you're free to email me with any questions, okay? Well, that's the play. Strategy over hope. Clarity, process, and vetting. So if this episode landed, would you do one thing for me right now? Send it to your bestie who you're like, oh my God, she needs to hear this too, and she could do it with you. You know exactly who she is. The one who's exceptional at everything and has been quietly running her love life on a wish too, and complains about it more than she's having fun. Send it to her. That's how she finds her way out too. I don't think that successful women should gatekeep information that helps us get what we want out of life. And that's also how the show grows. The Win a Dating Challenge link is in the show notes, June 23rd through 25th, live with me. Registration closes the 22nd. If you've been following along, reading all my Substacks, nodding and not yet moving, this is the room where you actually will get all the support and encouragement you need with women just like you to go run this play. And if you want help making your profile magnetic before the challenge, my dating profile cheat sheet is also in the show notes. Download it completely free and you can use it today and get a head start. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and I'd love it and be so honored if you'd leave a review wherever you're listening. It's the single best way to help more women find the show and more women get in the healthiest relationship of their life, the most important decision that they will ever make. I'm so glad you're here.